more about the queer experience, and that was the first time for a lot of us in Utah. So thanks for paving the way for so many of us.
I think that you are the one who is paving the way. Have you guys read the book? Has anybody in here read the book? Okay, me too. So I read it in one day, just because I couldn't put it down. I really, genuinely, I grew up Mormon. Actually, David and I met at church.
At church, yeah.
And now neither of us go to church anymore. So, how the times have changed.
Choices.
Oh my gosh.
Is anybody here Mormon, by the way? Cool, okay. All right. Somebody was like, no. I saw that. You're like, oh.
What about used to be Mormon? Anyone who used to be Mormon? Okay.
Cool.
Hello, welcome.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I always thought that growing up.
Latter-day Saint, I guess.
Yeah, Latter-day
Maybe
Saint.
they're like, we're not Mormon, we're Latter-day Saint. Because yeah.
I always thought like the whole world was Mormon growing up. I don't know if you had that at all, and I grew up in Las Vegas. I didn't grow up in Utah, but there's a lot of Mormons in Las Vegas. It was actually originated by the Mormons in the mob, surprisingly enough. But then as I got older, I realized I think it's like 0.001% of the U.S. is Mormon. Yeah, because it's like 11 million. So
yeah.
But anyway, the reason that I wanted to say that about Mormonism is because David and I were talking about how we wanted to go about this, and David said, well, we should do it like a fireside. So in Mormon culture, yeah, I also think that everybody knows what that means, but I probably should explain it, right? Or do you want to explain what a fireside is?
Yeah,
or devotional.
Like a devotional. It's like where you would go and in the evening usually you would just meet and someone would speak, and it was like this. It was like a conversational thing. Sometimes you could do it in Q&A style. There'd be musical numbers and etc. But it was just meant to be a more intimate setting than the normal like church meeting environment. Yeah.
So when I was thinking about where to start with David, because as I was reading the book, so it seemed like maybe like 20% of the people in here have read the book, and the rest of you are gonna read it very quickly. I promise you. Oh, you have a puppy here too. We have a puppy here as well. I don't know where Henry is, but he's somewhere around here. He's not Mormon. He's a failed Mormon. But yeah, I was thinking that it might be nice to just have a little more of a conversational thing with you, and then we'll get to Q&As, but also just keeping it very open, I guess, as a fireside. Actually, I don't think Mormon firesides really are that open. Like, it's not like, does anybody have a question? You know, and nobody claps in Mormon churches, right? I always thought that was kind of strange. But maybe at firesides you could.
It depended on the fireside, yeah.
It depended on how cool the speaker was.
Or like how cool the church leader was. So right. Honestly, it was up to the church leader. Like,
right.
They would decide, oh, it's okay for you to clap, or it's not okay for you to clap.
Right, that's true.
And then everyone would like, because sometimes like I'd sing a pretty, I don't know, did you ever do them?
Did I sing in church?
Like, you like do firesides?
I did one kind of fireside right when I got home from my mission. I went on a Mormon mission too. And then I sang How Great Thou Art, but I did it like too jazzy, or I did it like too something that like I could tell it made the leaders uncomfortable. Like I was like, I don't even remember, it was like too rocky or something.
You're making them feel too many things.
Thinking back, you know. Yeah, it was, and one of the stake presidents who was there was one of the guys who got me kicked out of BYU. Thinking back at that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But anyway, so the first question I have for you. So we go deep with Mormonism as we can. We could really like geek out on Mormon stuff, but it would probably really bore 99.9% of you. But the first question I wanted to ask you was, and these are going to be selfish questions, I'm really sorry. I was just like, what do I want to ask David? Because as long as I've known you, so I've known you now for 15 plus years, I really was like, man, David is such a mystery. Like, I love you, I count you as like a dear friend, but I also am like, I don't really know much about David, like the real David, and I feel like over the last maybe year of just watching your like 51 minutes, I think is what you said it was, the video that you put out, kind of just saying whatever you were feeling. Like, I was very emotional watching that. And I was very emotional reading the book because our lives are so interconnected with Mormonism, and there's so few famous Mormons. I think it's like Donnie and Marie, and like I think Ryan Gosling was Mormon for like 2 years of his life or something.
Yeah.
Mormons claim him. They're like, Ryan Gosling is still Mormon, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think they're proud if it's like you even used to be Mormon.
Yes, I think Christina Aguilera gets the Mormon
Oh
thing
yeah,
too.
Lindsay Sterling.
Yeah, Lindsay Sterling,
She's
right.
like a
Tyler
huge
Glenn,
ally.
Neon Trees,
Tyler Glenn.
Yeah.
Brendan Urie, Panic at the Disco.
Yeah. Look at all that talent.
He left the church though. Yeah,
okay.
but I grew up with him in Vegas. And then Brandon Flowers, The Killers.
Yeah.
Still Mormon.
Yeah, still
Yeah.
So give him a hard time about that.
Yeah.
Nobody's recording this right now. My brother's his manager, actually. So no one's recording. Yeah. Full circle.
I'll have to ask how they're all doing.
Yeah.
Because your brother, can we talk about that too? When I was
Yeah.
getting ready for my
We're
mission?
so ADD right now.
Oh, I know. Oh my gosh, how is this gonna go? But I mean, we haven't seen each other in a while
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
so it's like,
sure.
oh, how is
Right.
this? But when I was getting ready to be a Mormon missionary, I was in the middle of my career, and I was hanging out a lot with Dan at the time, and one of his brothers is a dentist, and so one of the things that you have to do to get ready for your mission is you turn in what's called the mission papers. And you have to get all your like doctor's work, and so I was like, oh my gosh, like I was traveling and stuff, but I also needed to turn in my dental work, and so I was talking to you, and I was like, oh my
Okay.
gosh, I need to get my dental work done, and then you're like, oh, because I was going to be in Vegas, and you're like, oh, you can meet with my brother. And you gave me his number,
Clint, yes.
and he did my mission paper dental work for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if
He's
you
still
remember that.
Mormon.
He's still Mormon.
All my family's Mormon. 7 brothers, 1 sister. They're all Mormon. I'm the only non-Mormon in my family.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Which
I need to give some books out to your.
you should. I honestly, you know what? No. I gotta tell you, I'm going to text my mom tonight a picture of the book, because I send her books all the time that I want her to read that aren't like anti-Mormon, but like sneaky kind of. Like put some interesting thoughts in my mom's head, like she would never read something that was like, why Mormonism is false. But she would read something that's like, evolution, question mark? Something like that. But I was gonna send her a picture of your book and say, I just finished this, you should read it. And so this leads me to my first question. So,
Okay.
So my first question was this, and it ties into why I want to send this to my mom. So something about being a Mormon, I think because it's kind of you're laughed at. It was never cool to be Mormon growing up. Like I never earned a friend or had a girl that like liked me because I was Mormon. It's kind of like telling someone you're in theater or something. Like nobody's like, wow, I want to be your friend. Theater people do, but about nobody else is like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not like, let me say it like this. Mormonism is not like a popular thing. Like when you see Mormons on Broadway, it's like, ha ha ha, they're so funny. And when I first saw the Mormon, man, I'm so
Book of
ADD, I'm
Mormon?
so sorry. Yes, I was offended. And I was not Mormon anymore, but I was like, this is not true. Mormons aren't this stupid. I was a Mormon missionary and I was not that stupid. But I was that stupid. And the second time I watched that. But anyway, so the question I want to ask you is this. I'm so sorry. The question I want to ask you is this. Because of that though, you feel a kinship for Mormons. I think in a way that probably people feel in any like group of people that are maybe persecuted is a big word, but like looked at and laughed at, you then bond with each other and you're like, they don't know us. So when I was reading your book, I was like, man, this is really brave. And watching your process, I was like, this is really brave to maybe make a lot of people that are in your circle, like your people, your Mormons, that now could feel a way about you. Now they might like be like, you turned your back on us. I wanted to ask you, what made you have the bravery to live your truth and this is a big question I guess, but to live your truth, to write this book? Was there a moment where you said, I'm okay hurting them because this reason? Like, was there a specific moment or were there moments that led up to that? And if so, what were they? Because I'm curious of where that bravery came from.
Well, I think it, for me, so background, because, you know, a lot of people know me from American Idol, or iCarly and Hannah Montana, and or for Crush. But in Utah, I was definitely known for being a singer who, like, one of the members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You know, they're trying to phase out Mormons, so I try to be respectable with how people want to be identified. You know, we're about that, respecting how people want to identify themselves. But I was one of the famous ones, like you said. It was like literally just Donnie and Marie the Osmonds, and that was it. And so suddenly it was like, oh my gosh, David Archuleta is one of us. And so I became like this, like this poster boy for the church. And I didn't ask to, but I just became that, and it put a lot of pressure on me. And it made it extra hard for me to not want to let everyone down. And the point where I had to get to a breaking point where I was just like, whether this offends people or not, and I think that's so weird. Like, have you ever wondered, like, how weird is it that just by trying to be yourself, it can offend other people? Like, why? Why is that a thing? But it was. I saw a lot of heads nodding, by the way, so I know y'all be relating to this. That people make that your choice for your own life about them. And I think it's something you're conditioned to do. It's like you have to like worry about what other people think, and somehow them living their life is going to affect you. And I was really afraid of losing, not just like to be an example, but I was afraid of losing my community, because that was all I knew. I kept myself in a bubble, and I was afraid of the world. And I've had to teach myself to not be so afraid of what's out there. It's been a process, but I kept myself safe and anyway. So the moment that broke for me, where it's like, okay, regardless of what anyone may think of me, and if they hate me or if they reject me, or I don't know if they're gonna attack me, like I don't know what they're gonna do to me, it really was coming out. It was a big enough decision, a moment, that I had to be ready for whatever came after it, and I had to prepare myself. And I get into the book. It really was, for a while I considered that it would be easier to end my life than to have to make that decision. And for a while I was okay. I was like, you know what, it is better not just to be rejected by your community, but I thought I was going to be rejected by God. And I was just like, why would anything be worth being rejected by God if I could prevent it? But it was a real moment in the book where I had a spiritual moment where I felt what I understood as God, and I had always understood as God, say, just be yourself, and regardless of what anyone thinks, that's not what I think, and I think that's all you need to know. And it was terrifying to do, but I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. And it feels like you're jumping into ice water, like in the Arctic Sea or something, with no clothes on. That's what it felt like. But yeah, that was like the pivotal moment for me.
That's awesome. You know, coming back to like why I want to send this to my mom is I told this to my partner on the way here. I was like, David is really, I really respect David, because there's very few people who have a weird life where they experience fame, or what everybody perceives as like everybody wants fame. A lot of people really, really want fame, and it turns most people into monsters. It turns most people into, it takes a magnifying glass and it just really magnifies whatever you are. So if you're a great person, it could make someone fantastic. Like I've met some really great people who have had like famous lives, but I've also met a lot of really terrible people. So one of the things I've always respected and loved about you is you really live your truth, from my perspective as I've watched your journey, regardless of what anybody thinks. A great example of that was you going on your mission, and like what could be argued is like a peak moment for you, right? Like things were like going like this. You just did American Idol, you put out Crush, and then you went on a Mormon mission for 2 years. It was kind of like, I remember in that moment being like, whoa, respect. But also missions are horrible. It was so hard. Like those 2 years were horrible for me. I was in Nebraska and it was not, it was hard.
Yeah.
And so I was so curious reading about your mission experience, and which leads me to my next selfish question. I'm so sorry, guys. What was your mission like being David Archuleta, and now you're a Mormon missionary? Did you have any regrets? Like you got out there and you were like, this was gonna be cool in my head, but now I got out here, I would love to go back to like going home and being David Archuleta at home. Did you have regrets at all? Did you count down the days to get home, or were you like, I love every day out here? And also, I found it really interesting reading about your experience of being on a mission and being attracted to some of your companions. Can you speak about all of that? Go for it.
Y'all are getting all the Mormon lore right.
Woo! Yeah.
Wow. I guess I talk also about learning that I had a bit of OCD, and when I was going to
What
therapy.
was the word, like
Scrupulosity.
That was a cool word.
Yeah.
Well done.
I had not heard it before, but this therapist was like, hey, see if you identify with these OCD, obsessive compulsive thinking. I'm like, yeah. And one of the subcategories was scrupulosity. And it was basically obsession with religion and trying to live your religion like very obediently and worrying that you stay clean, and an obsession with being clean. And I looked, I'm like, what's wrong with this? This is a disorder? I'm like, this is what every Mormon wants to be. Like I thought, I'm like, this is what you strive for. Why would I want to change this? Or think of this as a disorder? And my therapist, who also happened to be a member of a Mormon as well, was like, well, there's a difference in wanting to live, the commandments and live your life well, by your faith, and then there's like an obsession and compulsive thinking with it. And she helped me to recognize a bit of that in my behavior. So when I went on my mission, to answer your question, I was scared to go because I didn't want to let all my fans down and my family down, because a big part, I took a lot out because I went like 100 pages over my word count originally, but my family, there's a lot of like, do you really think that's what God wants for you? It's like, don't you think you are in a better position, like being in front of an audience, than in somewhere in the middle of nowhere potentially, where you can't be an example to other people? And I wanted to have an experience where I felt at that time like what it felt like to just completely consecrate, like dedicate your life to the Lord. And especially because, probably my scrupulosity had to do with it, but also this belief inside me that I'm like, there's something that I need to fix. And the only way I can fix it is by completely giving my life to the Lord and really showing my faith. Because I was still doing everything I was supposed to be doing like any Mormon would do, but I still had my feelings. And I didn't look at it as same-sex feelings. I didn't look at it as being gay or queer at the time. I looked at it as the devil's trying to get my soul. And that's all how I looked at it. And so I was like, well, the safest place for me to go is a mission. And what else I was thinking just now? Like we wrote a song together before I went. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it was about me leaving on my mission.
I was here in LA at the house.
Yeah.
What was it? The Villa Carlotta.
Those apartments next to the little grocery store. What was that called?
Gelson's.
Was it Gelson's?
There's
they
Gelson's.
serve, like pizza and
There's a bunch of little places.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a cool spot.
It's right across the street from the Scientology Center. Mormonism, Scientology. There's a lot going on in that area.
And so when I was on my mission, you asked like if I ever missed being like
Yeah, were you like
artist.
regretful? Were you like, oh, this sucks actually? Why did I do this? Did I need to prove this to myself? Like, was there any of that dialogue in your head?
So I never really, I never regretted it because for me to make that big of a decision, I had to be all in. And it took me a while to get there. And sometimes I would be there and I'd be like, man, I miss the feeling of having an audience and having everybody's attention in a room and just being able to connect them to whatever I wanted to, really. You know what I'm saying?
But like, also you're saying that in a way, but it's like you have a magical power when you sing that it opens people. It's beautiful. It's not like I know you and I know it's not like because I love the attention. It's because you see how much it moves people, and it's an incredible superpower that you have. When you sing, it's like, ooh.
Well, you know how it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Woo! Yes. Yes, you do.
Like when you bring an audience, you're able to connect everyone into a moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's magical about it. And you can get them to think about what you've been thinking about. Like you transmit a message or a feeling into a song, and you let everyone in the room step into that place. And it's such a cool. It's like my favorite thing about being an artist and a performer, is you can set the tone, and let people even like escape their world for a little bit, in whatever way you choose. Like they've kind of like given their time to you and their attention. And I would miss that. I would miss this feeling of just feeling this. It was euphoric, really, you know. And I didn't really. There were special moments on my mission as well, but it just wasn't the same.
Right.
And I didn't even know if I was gonna have another chance to do that when I got back. I was like, oh my gosh, I left everything to do this for 2 years. But I also believed in God so much. I was like, I trust that my life is in His hands. So.
That's there was a. Oh, I don't want to forget this thought. Sorry. There was a moment in the book that made me really emotional at the end, where you were kind of wrapping it. Is it okay that I'm giving away some of the book? Is that bad? I'm supposed to do this, right?
We have it.
Okay, fine.
We all have the book.
Okay, you got the book. Yeah, okay, whatever.
You're not
You
giving it
haven't
out.
read it. I'm not going to give anything away, but I want to say I started the book, and I had just read this book before this called The Drama of the Gifted Child. All right, it's one of the books I sent to my mom, being like, Mom, you should read this book. And basically what it's about is like people who had trauma maybe inflicted on them from their family, but they just have no idea about it because their family was great. They had maybe like a helicopter mom. It was all these things. And it's people who grow up and they're like, it's the people that you're like, what was your family life like? And they were like, fantastic. My parents didn't do anything to me. But they're like on pins and needles and they're like I don't want to point at myself, but myself a little bit. And that's why I sent it to my mom. But anyway, I'd come out of this and then I was reading your book and I didn't have an understanding of a flip side of emotional abuse that you really cover so eloquently that I had never read it, I'd never seen it, the way that you described your relationship with your father, the dynamics of it, the way it evolves, the way you wrap it together in the end, how you really forgive him, which I don't know that, in reading it I was like, I don't know that I could ever forgive in the way that David is. But it was so eye-opening to me to watch the process and to really see what emotional abuse can do to someone. And then what really moved me, I think, was when you were sitting with your mission president. Was your mission president or your mission leader, I guess you call him?
Yeah,
I didn't
said
know
mission leader.
Okay.
Just out of respect for how they want to be.
I see, okay. Is that the new term for them now, is mission leader? Or is that
No, it's just, there was a mission leader on my
Okay,
mission
okay.
that I was speaking to, yeah.
The way that he was the person that actually called it out and was like, David, this is emotional abuse. You should cut him out of your life. I was like, wow, this is the Mormon church. The Mormons are telling you something. Really, like, it's gotten bad. So I guess the question that I wanted to ask was like, I have such a fear of speaking about my family and like putting our family drama out to the world and weighing it out and going, does it help the world enough or does it hurt? Is it gonna make family reunions weird? Is it gonna make Sunday night pizza with my family weird? Like one of my brothers gonna be like, what'd you say about that? Put me on blast in your book. You know what I mean? Like, was that a thought? Was that a fear for you, speaking about your family? And what made you decide, hey, this is worth it? Because in my opinion, and I think probably everybody's opinion as they read this, it was really worth it because there's gonna be so many people who are going to find so much healing from reading that. But what made you have the courage again to say, you know what, my dad is mad at me after this, it's okay because it's worth it, and why?
Oh man, yeah, these are very thought-provoking. But has anyone ever felt like, I don't know, maybe this may be a tricky question to ask an audience, because if you had asked me this before my mission, I wouldn't have even thought of myself in that position where someone I loved and cared about was mistreating me. And I thought because I loved them, it was okay to tolerate the way they treated me, the way they spoke to me. And I didn't really even think about, oh, they're talking to me bad, but I guess it was more when the relationship I had with them made me feel so small and made me feel so little and like I didn't have value to myself. Has anyone ever felt that from someone that they were supposed to love and care about? Yeah. That was really hard for me, because you grow up and saying like your family's there for you and you're there for each other and your parents are there to guide you and protect you. So I think to have to come to terms with the idea that my dad, who had helped me so much, could be part of the reason, like to hear it as that's abuse was really hard for me to even have a concept of, like, to grasp, because I was like, what? He doesn't hit me. Like, I laughed. I was like, are you kidding? I'm like, my dad's not abusive. He's never hit me. And that's when my mission leader said, there's physical abuse, and then there's emotional and mental abuse. And your dad is mentally, emotionally, and verbally abusing you. And it took me a long time to even take that in, because I was like, I have to protect my dad. He's my dad. And it doesn't matter what he does or how he treats me, he's my dad no matter what. And that's where this mission leader had some really wise words, because he said it in a way I could understand with the church way of talking. Because I was like, my dad has stewardship over me. It's like his God calling to be the dad, the father to me. And he was like, well, he may be your father, but he doesn't treat you like a son. He doesn't treat you how a father should treat a son. And that's when he's like, well, I would recommend that you cut him out of your life. And I was just like, what? I'm like, you're asking the impossible right now. Like, my dad, wouldn't even let that happen. Wouldn't let that happen. There's no way. And he had to talk to me for like 45 minutes before I could really just take it all in. And he said, how about this? Like, you can, if you feel like you need to talk to him, he said, tell him this, Dad, unless you are willing to treat me like a son, I will not have a relationship with you. And that was really, really hard. I had to like grieve in order to do that. And I just felt like I was such a betrayer, and I felt like I was proving my dad right, because my dad said I was a traitor, that I had betrayed him many times. And so for me, that was like putting the nail in the coffin. Right. And I had to remove myself from what my dad thought and cared about, and I had to learn how to look at myself. And I thought that was so selfish to do. I was like, oh, like, why would I put myself first? Like, that's so selfish. But I had to, and my mission leader really helped me. And it's in the book. He said, if you let your dad back into your life, these last 2 years of progress you've had will be a complete, utter waste, and your dad will destroy your life. And that was really heavy for me to hear, but I needed to hear from him, and I was glad he told me that, because I think he was right. And because I learned how to set boundaries with someone that I loved, which is hard. They don't want you to, if they're an abuser, they do not want any boundaries. They're used to having full access to you. They're used to just being able to stomp all over you and get away with it. And you're supposed to just keep a smile on your face and don't ever say this to anybody. Otherwise, they could threaten you, or they can tell you that you'll betray them, is the way my dad kept me. And luckily, my dad's not like that anymore. But if it weren't for the boundaries, he probably still would be. I had to learn how to stick to my gun, even though my dad would scream and shout and throw a tantrum, try to access me and call me. I had to block his number, and we both healed from that. But I didn't talk to him for about 7 years.
I think that I would guess that even outside Christianity, Mormonism, and religion, many people, like, we deify our parents, if that's a word, deify. My parents to me were God, because I felt unworthy my whole life. I felt unworthy because as Mormons you weren't supposed to masturbate. I'm not saying I masturbated or not. It's nobody's business. I've already had to tell enough old men about that in my life.
Oh my God.
But I'll never tell anybody about it again. But I can just tell you, it's like, you're supposed to be like, you have to pass the sacrament as a young man in the church. And you're supposed to be clean. And I remember walking down those aisles with the bread and giving it to people and looking at every other young kid and being like, are you masturbating too? And then, are we poisoning the bread? I'd watch people eat the bread and I was like, I'm so sorry. This is not God bread. Like, these are not clean hands.
Yeah.
But because I always
hands are dirty.
felt unworthy, I looked to my parents to be God. So when my mom would say, I'd be like, I don't know what I should do for a living. Mom, what should I do? You should be a lawyer. Thank you, God. Like, for me, that was my whole life. So when I was reading your book, I felt like, and I wanted to ask you this, do you think that played a role with your dad, where it was like, I mean, your dad obviously said it to you, but do you think he was kind of your deity because you felt unworthy? Was that a thing for you at all?
Absolutely. And I mean, and he made sure I knew it too. He constantly would say, like, David, I am, God has called me to be a steward over you. Does anyone know what a steward, like, y'all know what a steward is?
It's definitely Mormon.
Okay.
Mormon word.
But everybody seems to be nodding. So y'all, if you don't, it's basically like someone who's in charge of someone else, like to watch over them and guide them. So yeah, Mormons would say that a lot. And but I think my dad took it a little too far and abused that belief. But I feel like maybe it causes a lot of people in religion or like in our religion to abuse that power.
Right.
It's like, well, I'm the steward, so they feel a little more entitled to be an authoritarian-like figure in the setting. But what was the question?
Well, you answered it. I just wanted to know if you saw your dad as he was kind of that God role, because that's what my mom was for me, and it was so hard leaving the church or disappointing her. Felt like I was disappointing God because I didn't feel that I was worthy to access God.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, I had no access to God because it was the masturbation thing, right? So,
I'm so sorry.
well, when I read about you, you were not masturbating. I was like, damn, wow. You say that in the book. Sorry, spoiler. You said it in the book. I mean, to be fair.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. Until my
Yeah.
30s. But yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you know what? I need to say sorry to my dad publicly because my dad told me he never masturbated growing up, and I was like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. My dad's a liar, but maybe today I'm like, it is possible. Maybe my dad's not a liar. I don't know. But anyway, sorry, I digress. But okay, so I want to give a shout out to your mom because she, first of all, she's just super cool. The few times I've met her, her energy's always just so like large, and it's like, I think it's where you get your special charisma from. Not to say your dad isn't. I don't know your dad. I've been talking bad about him.
Yeah.
So
He's really, my dad has done work on himself, and it's beautiful to see how it's not always the case, but people can change, and that's what I'm really grateful for, like that my dad has been able to heal. But still need boundaries. I'm not like best friends with him, but like we get along. It's funny the things we get along about now, but he has a big personality too, but I talk about it in the book. It usually pissed a lot of people off. So how big and like intense it was, and
But he pushed you.
Yes.
It did put. Do you think you'd be where you were?
No.
But maybe you would. Maybe you would. I mean,
so?
I don't know. I feel like I want to challenge you on that a little bit because I have people in my life that I'm like for instance, I think all the time, oh, my band would have never done anything if it wasn't for Mormonism because it made me so angsty and like I felt like, you know, so much angst that it made me write. Thank you, Mormonism. Like, couldn't have done it without you. So I'm just kind of like, you know, maybe you still would have found your way.
You know, I guess a lot of people, because it's not just Mormonism, but I definitely, like, when I was coming out and, like, leading to coming out, like, Demons was, like, a song I had on repeat. And it's nice to know when someone, you feel seen from someone who can say what you don't know how to say yet, you know? So thank you, first off, for that.
I listen to Glorious almost every day, so thank you to that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so interesting, that song was written by Stephanie Maybe, and it was used in Meet the Mormons, right? It was in the documentary, so it's a huge Mormon song, but she wasn't really active anymore. They asked if they could use her song, and she was like,
so it doesn't have Mormonism on it.
No, it was about being inclusive, and she's always been an LGBT ally, Stephanie has. And when I first, like, when the documentary was coming out, she would post, like, yay, love wins and stuff. I'm like, why is she doing that? She's not supposed to do that. But I think, you know, her care for everybody, and particularly the LGBT community, she, you know, that's who she wrote that song for. It wasn't for Mormons to say we're not good enough, and
so it's a sneaky song.
It is.
I like
it's
that.
a sneaky song, but
That's
feel
why
like,
I like it.
but yeah, But I'm glad to hear that. You were talking about my mom.
The shout out I wanted to give you,
Yeah.
Mom. Yes. So a big poignant moment in the book that really that touched me was you talked about how your mom earlier in your life, or up to later in your life actually, really lived by this standard of I love you, and tell me if I get this wrong, but I love you, but God is number one. I love God, and then I love my children. And I grew up in a household where that is practiced, and that's so hard for me to understand. I have 4 kids now, and I'm not religious at all, but I choose to believe there's something more. You know what I mean? I don't want to say you know what I mean because I hate when people say that. I'm like, I didn't know what you meant. No, but I choose to believe. I feel like my life has been so weird and crazy. I'm like, I think there's something more. Plus, I had a crazy ayahuasca thing, but I'm not going to go down that court. But your mom, so she lives by this thing of I love God and then I love you, but then she changes her way. And it actually really brought me to tears reading it because I don't know that, maybe my mom would feel this different, but I don't know that she's gotten to this place, and I hope one day we can have that conversation where your mom now is like, hey, if David's going to hell, I'm going right with him. Aww. And I'm like, cool, like Mama Archuleta, that's amazing. When did that happen, and what has your experience been with her now?
Yeah, well, shout out to Mama Lupe. Yeah, because she's divorced from my dad now, so now she's. Where's Mama Lupe? It works, but she. When I first came out, when I first told her, Mom, I'm going to start dating guys, my mom said, honey, I love you, but I love God more, and I can't accept this without you. And she's like, I testify to you that God's plan for you is to marry a woman and get married in the temple, and that's His only plan of happiness for you. And I was like, Mom, I get it. I believed all that up until a week ago. And I always laughs at that part. I don't know why, but I love it. And I was like, I don't need you. And this was like a real pivotal moment for me too. Being a people pleaser. And I think a lot of Devout is about the struggle of unlearning how to be a people pleaser and give my life away to what other people thought. But I was like, Mom, I don't need you to accept me. I don't need you to accept what I'm doing. I get it. I understand your beliefs. But I just want you to respect that I'm making the best decision for me right now. That's all I ask, is that you can respect that this is the best decision for me. And that you learn alongside me, because I don't know what I'm getting myself into. And a year later, I was still going to church after I came out. And it just got to a point where it was too hard. And I think I was seeing too many of the behind the scenes of the church, being so close to the leaders, that I was like, I can't accept this anymore. And I stepped away. And when my mom found out, because People Magazine was like, dude, Archuleta leaves the Mormon church. I wasn't anticipating, but that's what happened. And I was like, well, rip the Band-Aid off. And I didn't hear from my mom for a little bit. And then that's when she texted me. She's like, I've decided to step away from the church. And I was like, Mom, you don't have to do that. Like, I know how much the church means to you. And that's when she said, I don't want to be somewhere where my children don't feel loved and welcomed. So if you're going to hell, we're all going to hell with you.
So we're gonna turn to audience questions now, but I just want to say really quickly before that, in all the years that I've known you, I've never seen you look happier, more alive, healthier, more with the spirit, as Mormons say, right? They're always like, I can feel the spirit around you, and I'd be like, really? Like, for me, I felt that way, but with you, the reason this is such a poignant book, and I think it'll reach so many people, is because you are so earnest, honest. You don't do. I've never felt like David does something to please anybody. David does David, and people like that who speak quietly, they're not yelling, they're just speaking with their actions. Those are the people that move mountains, in my opinion. The people who move mountains are those that just, with their quiet actions, that's what matters. You've never yelled it, you've never preached it, you've just lived it. And so it's been incredible to see your journey.
Thank you, man. Well, I can't really yell anyway because I have a paralyzed vocal cord, so that makes my voice soft.
That probably sound really cute.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay, so I'm gonna take some of these questions. I was supposed to go through and pick like the best, but this was given to me like 1 minute before we came out here. And there was like 50 of them. I was like, oh my gosh.
Let the spirit guide.
Yeah, you know what? Let's see. I love it.
Do you remember that song?
I do, yeah. Let
my
the
gosh.
Holy Spirit guide. Dude, sometimes I think, I'm like, are all the melodies I write Mormon melodies? When the days are cold. It sounds like it could be like, risen when Jesus died. I don't know, like some Christian thing. But I get so mad when people are like, it's Christian rock. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not Christian. But maybe my melodies are.
Christian! Did anyone get that? I probably Christian!
Okay, this is a fun one. So I know what were you saying?
You haven't seen that clip where that lady's like, she's not a Christian!
Oh no, I thought that was
like
just
wife
me.
swap.
Oh, yeah.
And she's changed her ways now.
It's like a Karen moment, kind of? Like she's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but she's changed. Anyway.
Okay, so first question. This is kind of a lighthearted one, which was maybe a nice break. What are some of your favorite hobbies, things to do outside of making music? Eric. By the way, I also thought...
Eric, hey.
Yeah, does Eric want to say hi?
Hi.
That's you? Okay, Eric.
Hey.
Yes.
What's that?
Yeah, what are some of your favorite hobbies? Says Eric.
I mean, I love to go eat. Food is my pleasures. And I also, I've really gotten into raves. Like raving.
I did see that. I loved, nothing made me happier than seeing a raving David Archuleta. I was like, this was not on my bingo card. This is my favorite moment.
I loved it.
You had like so many wristbands. I was like, get it. Get it. I get it. You gotta catch up. All those mission years.
I know. You can rave with me sometime.
You name it. I'm there.
Okay.
We'll do it. We'll be
I'll look for.
such
I'll
an
think of a
awkward duo.
good concert.
Okay. What is one of your best life advice or words of wisdom you've heard, and who was it from? Anonymous. Just smiley face. Could be anybody.
Oh,
Smiling.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you want to reveal yourself, show yourself. Hi. What is your name? Michelle. Okay.
And you got a great smile.
Yeah, you
Like you
do. So, what was the question? I think I got lost in Michelle's beautiful smile.
What is your best life advice or words of wisdom you've heard, and who was it from? What is one of? One of. So it doesn't have to be the one of.
I feel like my mind's blank right now.
You said a really great one from your mom that I wanted to highlight in the book. It was near the end, and it said, my mom gave me this advice where it was something about when you have a lot of problems, the old problems fade, but much more eloquent than that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She was like, it was you forgiving, and you're like, you know what? when you get older, you have so many problems. You're like, fuck it, I'll forgive that person.
Yeah.
But not that. I'm really slaughtering it. Wasn't fuck it, I'll forgive that person in your
I
life.
think you have a point. It's just like you learn that people can grow, and sometimes some things are good to revisit, and sometimes the better thing is to just let it go. But weigh it out. See what you kind of have to go with your gut with the things, because a lot of the things in the book I did feel I need to revisit, but I wanted my family to heal. So anyway, I guess my mission leader told me taught me how to set boundaries. That was a life-changing thing for me. Set boundaries to take care of myself and not make myself so overly available and accessible to everyone.
And that's so hard as a Mormon, because you're told to serve everybody.
Yeah, to give your life to the Lord.
Turn the other cheek, someone slaps you.
Like, you literally in the temple, you make like the covenant to give your time, talents, and
Whoa, you're doing the secret oath with your hand. I saw that. Don't be doing that.
I guess it doesn't matter anyway.
Whoa! I didn't do it. I want the church snipers on me.
Yeah, but
no, it's not.
But you do dedicate your life, your time and everything to the Lord. So you do and that's why I did so many firesides and sang all the time for the church and didn't expect anything in return or any payment or anything, because I thought, this is what I'm supposed to do. I made a covenant to do this. So yeah, boundaries are really powerful, is what I learned.
Hey David, is there any part of your life that you wish you could do differently? Michael D. P.S. You're so baby girl. Does Michael D. want to reveal?
I keep getting this.
Is there any part of your life that you wish you could do differently?
I mentioned in the book how I wish I would have just been more. I wish I wouldn't have decided before the opportunity unfolded to decide, I can't do that, or I'm not good enough. That person wouldn't like me when they would try to be friends with me, and I just shut it down immediately. I wonder what would have happened if I allowed myself to believe in myself a little more. But at that time, I just wasn't ready to. I refused it because I felt so unworthy. But if you live, you learn. And what's important is I'm in a place where I can open myself up more now. So.
But it made you elusive and cool, right?
Sorry, Michael is here with his beautiful wife, Rebecca. I wrote Creme Brulee with Michael, so hi, Michael. And he produced it, amazing producer. Anyway. Oh, thanks for being here. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see my friends here. So many, anyway.
It was really cool. It was actually very cool hearing you talk about your interactions with people. Like your one with Miley Cyrus, spoiler, sorry, where you were like, oh man, I would have said more, but I was just shy. And I was like, yeah, but you probably seem so elusive and cool to her that you shouldn't change that. She's probably like, why is David Archuleta not that into me?
Oh my gosh. I don't think so. I think she's probably oh, poor kid, he's scared of me.
No, she's probably like, he's so cool, whatever.
I was literally like this, all the time, like this poor little scared little rodent or something.
Cutie. Okay. How do you...
Optimism, Dan.
I'll just be honest. How do you personally navigate spirituality today outside of religion? Asterisk, parentheses, redefining relationship with faith. What does being devout mean to you now compared to earlier in your life? Great question. No name. Do you want to present yourself? Novelist?
Oh, it's Michelle.
Author?
Wait, it's Michelle? It's Michelle again.
Wow.
Wait, is that your question?
You got great questions.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. I would say that spirituality, I consider myself agnostic because I don't close myself off to a higher divine that connects all of us. I don't want to define it though because it was so specific in the Mormon Church as a Latter-day Saint.
A guy with a beard.
Yeah, who was married.
Married.
And had,
but you couldn't say goddess's name because it was too reverent or something? What did you get taught?
You wouldn't, but Heavenly Mother?
Yeah, you were like, Heavenly Mother, don't say the name loud. Be reverent about it.
Yeah.
But don't talk about her.
Yeah.
It was a weird patriarchal thing, I felt like.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why don't you talk about her? Because it's too sacred. Yeah, right. Because she's doing the dishes or something.
Oh my God.
Something like that.
I felt like, that's how I felt. I felt like it was a bit why give her time to shine if she's there? But it's there was the way I look at it now is I felt like that moment when I was praying and felt like, hey, it's okay to accept yourself as you are. I don't know if that was the divine, like a divine outer source, or if it was the divine within. And that's where I've really transitioned with what devout means to me now. Because devout, I was always giving my agency away to something else. And now it's about tuning into myself and being devout to the higher self, like within you. So I feel like that's how I look at being devoted now.
I love that. And it shows, like I said, you radiate God. It sounds like I'm joking, but I'm really actually being honest. I feel like that is, when I see someone in their power, I think that is God. Like, love of self, love of people around you, connection, that is God to me. Whatever God is.
Yeah. I mean, in raves, I feel that. I'm like,
I'm going to a rave with you. I've never been. The first festival I ever went to, I performed at. I wasn't allowed to do that. I don't know. Yeah.
Exactly.
I
felt like such a heathen when I first went. And now it's just like, oh, yes!
2 Mormons just like, yeah, in our 30s. 30s are like, this is crazy, David. Like, something imagine dragging Scott and David.
Oh my gosh. Well, we just, I don't know. Everyone's just in their own little world, and sometimes they're a little too. Anyway. Notice what's around them.
Okay, I'm skipping that one.
Okay.
Oh.
Am I okay on time? 5 minutes. Okay, great. This is so fun. I'd love to see these. I'm just going to read this one. I didn't read it, so let's just try, who knows?
Ooh, okay.
What's next for you? Any upcoming projects you can share with us, or do you want to take some time off? No. N-O-E? They're not saying no. Their name is No. Or no? Name?
No.
I'm probably saying it wrong.
Noe?
It looks like Noe.
No.
Noe? Noe?
Is it Noe?
Yeah, Noe.
Oh, cool. Okay, Noe.
So what am I up to? I mean, the book has been a pretty big thing. Like, it's been like 3 years in the making, so here it is. But I am writing. I'm writing music. So I'm working. Devout is the prequel, and I actually released some songs with the book. It's in at the very end of the audiobook. But and those songs too, it's kind of like stepping back into time. It was fun to do, because I'm like, well, I'm not there anymore, but it's fun to be in this more like, I don't know, it reminded me of like Mormonish music that like just more like sincere, and whereas now it's kind of like just feeling good in your own skin, and like feeling like I feel like a baddie, you know?
Oh, yes.
And so to write from that space and to just feel confident and comfortable in your own skin, it's just really fun place to write from. But writing music, I'm gonna do more holiday music too. That's in the works for later this year. Just because of like, I always loved doing Christmas music, but I was always like so sacred and spiritual when I did it before. Now I'm just trying to have fun. I'm just trying to enjoy life and not take it so seriously.
I love that. This is a lighthearted one from David. Oh no, sorry, from David Dash. This is from, sorry, new moderator. This is from Michael Stern. And it's a great question. Who is your dream to do a duet with? For your information, I don't sing. So I think you can't choose it. As we saw
Oh, damn.
Let me think. Well, I mean, I've mentioned my friend Tori Kelly.
Woo.
I love her music. We tried to make something work last year, and it just didn't work. She was about to have her baby, and she had just come from tour with Ed Sheeran. But yeah, I mean, who else? I mean, Yeva would be pretty amazing. I love that. Yeah, Yeva is one of my favorites, so that could be cool too. So there's a couple.
Great. If you could be on any game show, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, etc., what game show would you choose? Anonymous. Anybody want to reveal themselves? That's a good question.
What's your name?
My name is Daniel.
Daniel. Well, nice to meet you, Dan. That's my brother's name. Yeah.
I am your brother.
You are? Did anyone watch Pokemon the first movie? Yeah. Okay, that song is in that movie. It's like everyone's like all the Pokemon are fighting each other, and like Pikachu's like, why is everyone fighting? And that song starts playing. brother, my brother. Tell me what we're fighting for. We got to end this war. Anyway. What was your question?
You could be on any game show. You could be on Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, etc. What game show? Family
This
Feud.
may also be why it took me 3 years to write my book. But I was on, I feel like, the perfect game show for myself, and it was Name That Tune.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was really fun. So I wouldn't mind going on it again because I had a lot of fun doing that too.
Giving you just fast ones because I know we're out of time. This is the last one? Last one. Okay, last one, then David's going to sing for you guys. What was your most memorable moment when you met the person who inspired you? Camille?
We're here.
Camille?
Yeah.
The most, the Love Loud shirt.
Yes.
Yeah, we went.
We saw you.
Yes.
We saw you.
Oh.
Yes.
So the question was,
Oh, sorry.
sorry,
No, we both have horrible ADD. Now I know why we're friends.
It's okay, we love
I had to
you.
look at it too again. I'm like, what was the most memorable moment when you met the person who inspired you? So a moment, somebody you met that you were like, wow, this is, I'm shifting it to my own selfish
okay.
thing.
Go ahead.
Someone that you met that was very inspiring for you, maybe someone you looked up to, and it can't be Paula Abdul because you talk about that in the book, so maybe do someone else.
A cool full circle moment for me was, Kelly Clarkson, because she showed me that like dreams can come true. Like if you just be a singer from somewhere, and suddenly you make it, and then to like be in that same place like 6 years later. I talk about it in the book. My dad, one of the really cool things he did was surprise me with tickets to the first finale of season 1 American Idol, and to watch Kelly in person win, and I got to meet her, and that's in the book too. But then, just last year, I was on the Kelly Clarkson show, and we were able to talk about it, and I got to sing Creme Brulee over there, and she's always been so real. Talk about real people. She's always been so real too, and just sweet, and so I think that was a really fun moment to just be like, yeah, you're the one who inspired me to be doing all this, or at least one of the people. Tamara Gray, also on that first season. Shout out to Tamara Gray because she was amazing.
Okay, well, David, I love you. This has been a pleasure.
Love you, Dan.
It's been a-
Woo! Yeah. Yes. Woo! Yes. Oh.
I gotta get my book.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get it signed?
Okay.
It is signed.
Oh, okay.
Got a new copy. Okay. This is one of the Devout EP songs, and it's called